Good morning. Just in time for a truck to go by. See if I can get this a little closer. I got a notice that I'm going live. That's good. Thank you. I tried to share it with Facebook. Somebody else must have shared it. But it wanted me to log in, and I don't have all those numbers in front of me. I'm in the yard. So yeah. But doing good. Still got a little cough, but I can't complain. Can you hear all the wild birds this morning? See if I can get that glare from the camper out of there. Looking pretty and happy birthday. Oh, you're not supposed to tell anybody that. I went to Walmart today and I was going to get me a new fishing pole because I don't know, something happened over the winter and I something might have happened to it. So anyway, so I got to go find me another fishing pole. Maybe I'll buy myself a birthday present. My card might be late. That's all right. You don't have to send me a card. We talk every day. So yeah, I hope you got some lunch. I just have a little bit of cheese here. Hey, living miracle, Kathy. How are you? I'm doing much better. I was going to go get in my bees today, but it's 76. It's going to be 86 degrees today. I've got to go check them out and find out what they've been doing since I've been sick. I did set up I set up a couple of traps, bee traps, swarm traps, and I noticed some scout bees on one of them yesterday. So I'm hoping. You're dragging today? You haven't done anything? That is hard to believe, Kathy. Even when you don't feel good, you're out there. Although I hope you're not feeling bad. I know I've been so tired lately. I don't know if it's the heat or what it is. So I'm having a diet Dr. Pepper and a piece of cheese for lunch till I can get something. I have no wind, no rain in sight, none at all. Had to go find me another tripod because my bipod just does not stand up to it. I didn't even cook breakfast until a few minutes ago when my sugar dropped. Oh no. Yeah, you can't mess around with that. Donna messes with that sometimes and it's hard to get it back where it needs to go. Dust and cool weather in California, hot, then cool again, makes us feel all yucky. Yeah, um, I think we're gonna have some rain in a couple of days. Oh, the sun went down. It's so much better. Look, I'm not all blurry. Um, I still have to do my video for I got an unboxing from Amazon, so I still need to do that. But I guess I can do that even in the sunshine. So yeah. So are you diamond painting, Donna? Are you cleaning house? What are you doing? I had more baby chicks hatch last night. We're getting towards the end of them. I still have a few in the incubator. My butterflies DP. Oh, you're getting some good numbers on those butterfly. Um, are they keychains or wind chimes? I can't remember what you said. You're getting some really good numbers on them, and they're pretty. Steve is making the fidget keychains. Oh my gosh. I hope you're doing a video on those fidget keychains. Those were so cute. That's the one for autism awareness. Mm. I have to get busy with making a spot for the freeze dryer. Oh, is the freeze dryer coming today? Oh, hey, Annabeth. Oh, no, that's not Annabeth. That's Lisa. I'm sorry. I saw the adventures and I thought Annabeth starts with that. How are you, Lisa? Michigan is sunshiny. Yeah, we're 75 here today and mostly sunny. Hey, Mr. Steven, Mr. Boots and Bounty. Glad to see you. So I guess you're on your lunch break too. Um, Kathy says she's getting her freeze dryer on the 15th. Oh, I am so jealous. You're getting a freeze dryer. Wow. You know what I really miss watching is I miss watching Mr. Boots and Bounty doing the dancing. I'm behind in everything, y'all. Donna says, yes, I'm making a video for Steve for the first time. Yes, the fights are for autistic kids, adults, and just anyone. Oh, good, good, good. Well, they're really cute. Um, very cute. I know y'all have been busy. I bet you miss dancing too. I've actually been watching other people's videos and I keep going back thinking I'll catch one because I've caught up with all yours. But and I love to watch um like the cha 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 and all those fast ones like the Dancing with the Stars used to do. But I love the fast ones and especially when kids are dancing. It's just I love that. Spell check is fidgets. Oh, I thought that's what you said was fidgets, and I thought, what are fights? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, you hear my roosters? I got another 30 chicks last night. I've got probably another 50 that's gonna go, they're gonna graduate to the big run, maybe this weekend. I like to make sure they get most of their feathers before I put them out there. Yeah. Yeah, Kathy, I hope you do a lot of videos on that freeze dryer because I've watched a few from other channels and it's really fascinating. Until I get a big garden, though, it wouldn't do me any good anyway. So yeah, um, but other than that, so Stephen, are y'all going to the Kentucky picnic this year again? Uh, Kathy says I will be. I thought I'd be making a channel just for that. Oh, well, that would be interesting now. Since you've already hit your 1,000 and got monetized on your current channel. My second channel, honestly, I haven't been working you know, I just do my crafts on there, but it's still got almost 500 um subscribers. But no, I haven't been. I still haven't done a live from that one either. Oh, Steven says, "Oh yes, we're going to the Kentucky meetup. Called this morning and reserved your room." Okay, it's so pretty up there. So pretty. It's like a 7.5, 8-hour drive for us. Um, oh, Kathy says I don't make any dollars, but maybe one day. You don't make anything yet? I always let the commercials run. I was hoping that that would help you out. Call by May the 31st to reserve your room and get the discount. Okay, okay. I'm gonna have to look at my calendar and see if there's any way we can go this year. I missed it last year and I really enjoyed it, but it's hard to go even for a weekend with so many animals. That was a rough one the last time. I don't have any more cows. For those who haven't been watching, the cows have been rehomed. So we'll have to work in repairing all of the fence that they broke. You know, they wrestle like kids. If you've never owned a cow, they, especially the younger bulls and the steers, they wrestle just like children. And then they lay up against your fence and push your fence over. We still don't have any hay. We have not had any hay for almost 6 weeks. Everything around here, they're just now starting to cut some hay, alfalfa maybe, but it's not the coastal Bermuda like we usually get. Um, so we're still waiting on hay. Hey Chuck, how are you? Nice to see you. Congratulations on your milestone of 1K. That's awesome. Kathy says I have to figure out who's going to take care of my animals so I can go. I want David to go with me, but now I'm having trouble with someone taking care of my animals. Oh no. I know. It's nice to have somebody that can drive with you cuz it I mean, it's 8 hours for me. Chuck the man in the myth. Chuck's a good guy. So everybody here knows Chuck, I think. Maybe Gummy if you haven't been over to Chuck Life with Chuck and Belinda. Um Gummy says they just started cutting hay out here in the San Joaquin Valley. So y'all were having trouble with hay also. They blamed it on the rainy season for us because you can only I don't know a lot about cutting hay, but they say that you know each cut there has to be so many days. You have to let it ripen so many days before you cut it. If you don't cut it within that window, then it's not as nutritious and it loses its quality. Gummy says, I have and have watched as much as possible. Hi, Chuck and Belinda. Yeah, you don't see Belinda on here much because I think she has a day job, right, Chuck? And Chuck has just a 24-hour job. Yes, I think that's why we've had so much trouble with rain. And somebody had some old bales. They wanted to sell 4 old bales, and they looked old. Probably last year's had been stuck in a barn somewhere, and they wanted $20 for those 4 bales. And I looked at them when I looked at them, I thought, I don't even think my goats would eat that because they are picky, picky. So right now we got them on pasture. Everybody's on pasture. So hopefully the grass will start growing some more now that the cows aren't. That's cheap for hay bales. Actually, it is. But for fresh hay bales, we were paying $5.50 for fresh hay bales, and they were those great old big ones. I mean, I couldn't even lift them; they were so big. They're long rectangle bales, not the rounds. And the rounds we were paying 80, 80 a piece, and this was fresh hay. Now, we did get a couple of older bales of rounds for the cows, and it was we paid $50 for those, but they were old bales. The goats didn't really want it, but the cows ate it. So that was the best I could do while we were waiting to get them all to market. Steven says they go for about 8 to 10 for the rectangles. Wow, that's the regular price? Because even ours, after they started raising the prices, the most we paid was 6.75, and usually $6. So I guess the guy that owns the feed and seed, he cuts his own hay, so he can keep it pretty low. But if he had to buy it from someone, we had a choice of at least $8 for the big rectangles. So yeah, but they say at the end of May we should be able to get more hay, and I know the goats are going to be happy. The alpacas are going to be happy. Um, the sheep, they'll eat anything, and I only have 2 sheep, so it's not like they're eating all of the good grass. So yeah, but other than that, you know, I really hadn't even started my garden. I need to get out there, but I've been sick for like 10 days with this bad cold. But now it got hot. So yeah, my comfrey is coming up. I've got blackberries. My elderberries are all starting to bud out. They haven't really started blooming yet. They're budding though, and so at least I'll have that. I lost one of my wild plums over the winter. I guess it froze. We had such terrible, cold weather nights, and Wilma's garden is looking good. Is it really? I haven't been out to her place, but maybe one day when you come back to town, we can go because I've never been out there to see her garden. Um, we're just spending as much time. We started on the. I'm starting to pack up the fifth room of my. Let's see, I've got one, two, three, four, of 5 rooms out of 8. So we're working on our fifth. The 2 bedrooms we're going to combine and make a very large bedroom office, and have my sewing machine and my crafts and stuff in there on one end of it. So we're just going to make it all an open room, and it will be very long, very long. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how many feet it'll be, but it'll be at least 25 feet across. So we'll have a big one. Yeah, that's a plan, Kathy. Yeah. Well, now that you've got all of your storm damage, you're working on all that storm damage. Your garden was looking so good. I was really jealous of your garden, and I hate that the mangoes suffered, but I hope you were able to save some of those, because that there is nothing better than your mango jam. It's looking better. Yes, it is looking better. When I saw the ones yesterday. Hey, Elise, nice to see you. Thank you. I appreciate you. She sent me messages several times checking up on me. I still have a little bit of a sore, not a sore throat, a little bit of a croaky throat. My nose is still running, but it's not, I'm not, I'm not sick, you know. Now it may be allergies. Um, Still have a little bit of a cough. Kathy says I'm flash freezing the mangoes for the freeze dryer. Oh, I heard you say you were flash freezing something uh yesterday, and I kept thinking, what is she flash freezing? I stepped out of the room and I missed what you were freezing. There's a bug after me. Um, oh, thank you, Elise. Yes, I am feeling 100% better. I mean, I haven't been sick in 2 years. I have not had a cold in 2 years, and I don't know why it hit me then, but it did. Gummy says, happy for you, Kathy, and looking to see how your plants and trees are healing. Yeah, she's done a lot of cleanup too from that. I have never well, I see, Gummy, you had the big hail also this year, but for Florida, I mean, y'all are in really hot zones. I mean, it's unreal to think that you had hail that large. We didn't. We had a little bit of hail. Hey, I had a visitor last night. I was trying to I was trying to make my way see if I get out today, I'll be making an update video. Okay, good. Oh, I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad you stopped by, Stephen. It was nice to see you. Thank you. Don't work too hard. Gummy says, yeah, nut pea size here. Oh, is that what the hail was? A lot of places got golf ball. Yes. There was a lot in Texas too. Um, my visitor was a possum. I had my cup of coffee, or maybe I'd graduated to water then, but I had something in my hand to drink, and I was making my way to the camper because we still sleep in the camper. And he scared the tar out of me. I had thrown some, I guess it was some sausage, some hot sausage that he got. I can't eat hot stuff. I did eat bugs after me. I did eat a little of it, and I had thrown it out for the kitty cats to eat, and they were going to town on it. And next thing I know, I don't know where he came from, but he darted over there and was trying to get him a piece of that meat. And I don't know. I mean, he was big, or she. I don't know if it was she or he. Um, but it was pretty big. But I was in a. I couldn't get a good video. It was really blurry. So I was too far away, and every time I moved, he saw me, and they're very shy. And that's all I had that was out to eat was the cats was eating on that bandui or andouille or whatever that is. Andouille. It's hot. For me, it would be no more. Really? Yeah, no hail. Hail, there's y'all have had enough of this. I think, well, see, it still says it's 76, but there's a nice breeze today. But I think we're done with the cold weather. I really think we are. Um, I don't know about up north. Excuse me. I still have some sneezes, but I didn't have time to mute you so you didn't have to hear that. Sorry about that. So, other than that, um, I've got to work in the bees. I've got 18 containers, so I need to go down and get me some tomatoes now that the cold weather's over. Um, I always like to have some tomatoes and maybe some yellow squash. Elise says it was in the morning time. My neighbor's son dog got attacked by a raccoon. It was in the daytime. Yeah, daytime raccoons are different. They definitely, possums are nocturnal, and they're fairly friendly. Also, they look vicious, but they just want some bugs and dead meat, and the little rodents. They'll eat those kind of things. But, you sneeze 30 times a day? Good gracious. I ran out of Kleenex, so I've got a roll of toilet tissue, but I ran out of Kleenex. Um, so the raccoon, I saw one here since we've lived here, and we've lived here will be 7 years in December. And he was out in the daytime near the pond, and it definitely was a rabid one because he was making some awful noises and he was falling over like he was just drunk. I had never seen a rabid animal, and he was making some kind of keening sound that was real high pitched, and um it was awful. Elise says I take allergy shots because of the allergies that I have. Really? Well, normally I don't have allergies, and you know several of my family members have allergies, uh, but I normally don't have allergies, and I'm not I'm not, plagued with that, but I don't know, I don't know what really caused it. I just got up one day and I thought, "Why is my throat a little bit sore?" And, I guess it's that postnasal drip at nighttime, and so I took some Benadryl and it didn't feel any better, so the next morning I got up and it was worse, and I thought, "Well, then it's not an allergy." So then I switched over and I started taking something different. Well, it did help, but it had already gone into where my throat was so sore, I was really worried that it was strep. It was hurting so bad. And so I started taking a different kind of medicine. And it's not like I can run to the doctor really easy. We're 45 minutes out each way. It's it's not like an easy thing for me. Um, yeah, my body was telling me I need to rest. I think that was exactly what it was. I was just a little run down from, everything. I was trying to do everything and I had more on my plate than I normally do. My daughter's doing good. She's in PT away from home now. At first, she was at PT at home. She's working part time from home. She still does PT twice a week, but thank goodness we have someone local within 10 minutes, so I don't have to drive her very far. She's not driving yet, so I still am I'm still trying to do that and kind of pick up some of her slack when she needs it because she's not able to drive. Um, so, but she's making good progress with the total knee. And honestly, I may just live with my knee pain. I'm not sure if I want to go through that. She's been 3 times with this one knee, and I'm just not sure that I can do that because that's a lot of that's a lot of work having a total knee replacement. And so I don't know, you know, I could hobble around for another 10 years maybe with my sore knee, but that was a little bit. And I've been with her all 3 surgeries, and this one is the toughest one on her. So, yeah. I think all the kids are coming out for, Sunday, afternoon, um, not dinner like it'll be after lunch, but so all the kids will come out, um, and the grandkids, maybe I'll go fishing with them or something. That's I don't like to go out and eat. I don't like to do that. um, Especially on a holiday. It's not fun at all. So yeah, but other than that, y'all got any plans for Mother's Day? My brother's 28 years old and he had both of his knees done because he pulled the ACL. Oh, gee, did he have them at the same time at least? Because I have heard of people doing them at the same time. I'm sure it's like an emergency situation thing. Another bug. Um, but I just can't imagine. Now, my daughter is 43, and they've been putting off her surgery for 10 years. Um, and it had gotten so bad that, she fell a lot because her knees would just give out. Um, oh, we were playing basketball. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. One of my oldest brother, he's 75 now. Um, he had his done a couple of years ago, and he says, "You know what?" He said, "I don't even think about." He said, "My knee doesn't give me any problems." He was a postal worker for 30 some years, getting in and out of the Jeep and a lot of walking, a lot of carrying heavy packages and stuff. And his knees wore out. Um, but he waited probably 20 years to get it done just because he was putting it off until he couldn't stand it anymore. Let's see. Gummy says, Happy Mother's Day, Linda, and the other ladies on here. Olivia is raking me to the movies, or taking me to the movies to see new oldies movies called Book Club. Oh, that is an old movie. Yeah. Old ladies movie. Yeah. Well, if I want to see a movie, I have to watch it on my computer, um, because we don't have cable in the house. And but I do like those older movies. I don't know any older Mother's Day movie that I can think of right offhand, but I definitely like the older stuff. I don't like any of the new stuff. I don't know. It's just not my thing, and I can tell you the last time we went to the movies, maybe 5 years ago. We have a local theater that is actually an old-fashioned theater, and I think it was $5, and it was a Clint Eastwood movie called The Mule, and I believe part of The Mule was actually filmed in the Augusta area. Um, but yeah, so that's the last one that I actually paid money to go see, was The Mule. I think that was what it was called. So yeah, it's been a while. Hey, Prep for Eternity. Nice to see you. Oh no, I just thought I would take my time today and not be in a hurry. As long as all the animals are behaving, I'm just going to sit out here in the sunshine. And I do have to sit in the sunshine. I have to get in the sunshine because I have always had a vitamin D deficiency, and the only way that I can absorb it is through my skin, mostly. So everybody does need a little sun. Gummy Doolittle says it's not an old movie. It has old ladies starting in it. Oh, is that the Sally Field, Diane Keaton, and Jane Fonda, and I forget the other lady's name. Um, oh yeah, they did a remake of where they met up again. Yeah, I might like that. How are you doing, Annabeth? It's good to see you. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, it'll have to come to video before I see it because I don't go to the movies, but I wouldn't mind seeing it just because, you know, I like Sally Field. I like them all, but Sally Field is my favorite. The Flying Nun. Who remembers that? The Flying Nun. I'm doing well. Might get a little rain today, putting up the pool hopefully this weekend. Oh, Annabeth, that is cool. That's cool because um, I think our rain will be here tomorrow. So after you get done with it, it'll come over to my place. What did Chuck say? Wait, Sally Fields is old. Well, I think she's older than me, and I used to think 39 was old until I hit 39. It's like, oh my gosh, I suddenly need a nap. Yeah, I take a nap every day. Chuck, there is nothing wrong with a power nap. Just call that a power nap. My brother, my oldest brother, Jack, the one that we lost last Father's Day, he took a nap every day at the same time. Usually, you could not find him between 2:30 and 2:45. He took a 15-minute nap, and he at one time in one house that he had a closet. There was a real big closet, and he had a sleeping bag on the floor of the closet because it was dark, and he would go in the closet and shut the door because it was daytime, and he would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and meet the ice cream truck or something. He had a grocery store. So he would lay down in the closet, go home. Everybody knew, don't even bother trying to call him or talk to him within that amount of time because that is where he was at, was taking his power nap, and he drank a small glass of apple juice every day. I mean, he believed that was what he needed to sustain himself every day, and he did it. Uh, Gummy says those ladies look real good for being over 70. Oh, really? They're over 70? I guess me and Chuck are just young chickens then, right, Chuck? I need naps during math, Annabeth says. I never get tired in the day, but when I do math, I get tired. About yesterday, I don't recall planning a nap, but after I got done running some errands, I came back, and next thing I know, somebody was sending me a message wanting me to come help them with a goat. And I looked at the clock and it had been 2 hours. I sat there and just fell out for 2 hours and I took a nap. So I guess I needed it. Gummy says my fingers don't work because I can't spell today. Oh, you can spell. It's just the computer in the phone changes it on you. Gummy says, yeah, right, Linda Kay. We both have birthdays this month. This May is a birthday month for my family. Let me tell you how many um, I started the end of April. So I have one brother in March, one brother in April, a sister in March, and then in May, uh, my sister-in-law and myself, one of my sister-in-laws and myself are on the 13th. On the 15th is my niece, and on the let's see, another sister-in-law is the 5th of May. I forgot her, and then let's see, the 27th is Gummy. The 30 is it the 30th? The 30th is the youngest brother. So yeah, we had a lot of birthdays in May. Oh, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate you coming. Listen, when the kids call, we go, right? It was good to see you, and I hope you have a good weekend with the children. January is our family birthday month. Oh yeah. See, I think it's just like it kind of runs like that. Let's see, January, let's see, your father, your brother, your sister-in-law, and grandfather. See, you got as many in that month um, as I do in that in May. But and then of course May was Mother's Day also. I was actually born on Mother's Day. I was a Mother's Day baby. And for a long time, I thought I said to my mother one time, that must have been awful using the hospital on Mother's Day and you couldn't see the children. And she said, oh no. She said, that was the best day of my life. She said, I didn't have to wait on anybody. She said, they all waited on me. So, I was kind of feeling guilty because she was missing out on the other children on Mother's Day. And she had one, two, three other children at home. She had three other children at home. So, you know, I was feeling guilty, but no need to feel guilty. She said it was a great day for somebody to wait on her because she took care of all of us. My sister is born on Mother's Day. Oh, she is? Yeah, May's a good month. You know, I guess, the way it works with farmers, it's a cold winter and you have spring babies. I mean, that's it. That's it. So, yeah. But I'm just as happy to see my kids and just play some games, have a little food, and do some fun things. Like I said, I like going to the pond, which is just a few steps outside the door, so um, down the hill. So I don't mind that at all. Um, I actually went fishing a couple of days ago, but the fishing poles were all ruined. They were small and cheap little fishing poles, so I need some new ones now. April was rather cool, but May is burning up. Oh, yes. It's like when it hit May, first it's warmed up tremendously. You know what? It's like, wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago we were are still in the 30s at night? 35, 38, maybe 3 weeks ago. I still had baby chicks out there that I had to put lights on. Now I still have some in the brooder, um, but these now can be out at night without getting too cold. But yeah, it's like all of a sudden, usually here after March 17th, we usually don't have any freezing weather. We may have one more cold spell before Easter, but this year it was just so unusual. New York and Minnesota, Wisconsin are still getting freezing temps. Are they really? Are they getting snow also? I haven't been watching it. Like I said, I have the weather channel on my phone, but I don't have any cable at the house, so I don't really get any weather for anyone else. If I want to know weather, I have to go specifically and pull that town up, which I usually do wherever my siblings are at and family. That's the weather I'm looking at because I don't get it just on regular news channel. There's not we don't have a lot of good news these days, so I don't even watch it. So yeah, but I didn't know they were still having freezing temperatures up there. So yeah, let's see. 30. What was 30, Gummy? Uh, I missed it. Oh, the 30th. Oh, his birthday is on the 30th. Yes. Yes. So finally out of my mother's 6 children, we're all over 50 now. Whew. But um and then my oldest sister that's living, she's 85. So there's yeah, so there's a you know, a 18-year difference at least in the in um me and the sister that lives in Texas. And I really need to go on a road trip. I just really like to go for a week and go see my siblings because the two oldest ones, they're not traveling anymore. Yes, and we all take naps. Runs in the family? Yeah, Donna. I think we just need to take a nap just because we just need to let our minds rest for a few minutes, you know, after you've eaten. There's a lot of food that has tryptophan in it, and it makes you want to sleep anyway. And I think that's your body's way of forcing you to take a little short cat nap. Gummy says, I am coming to see you next year in June. Oh, yeah. So I will at least get one sibling here. Last year, one of my younger brothers and his wife came. Um, and the year before that, Gummy came. So I do get to see some family. It's just that I have not been off the farm to their house, which is unusual for it to be 7 years since I traveled to go visit the siblings. And I kind of miss that. But we've always just hopped in the car and gone to see, it's 13 hours to one of my siblings and 16 to the other one. So it's not just a day trip. I had to be gone a week, and I have to get this remodeling finished before I can think about going. My throat's itching a little bit. But other than that, did anybody else got plans for this weekend? Kathy, you gonna get to see your mama if you're still on here? I know Annabeth's gonna get to see her mama. Yes, thank you. I am a lot better. I still have a little bit of a little bit of coughing, um, but I don't have the coughing fit where I just oh, it felt like I was just gonna cough my lungs up. Um, that's good, Kathy. So yeah, the coughing is much better. Um, a little bit a little bit of runny nose. It's not now, but if I'm working in the yard or something and bending over is like it's like gravity, I guess. See how my wind is blowing? All my trees are blowing. It's nice. I mean, there's a nice breeze out here. It's very nice. Um, I don't mind it if I'm not working in it. I don't mind being in the sun a little bit, but working in it, I'm not crazy about that anymore. I'll stay out of the sun in the heat of the day, and I really my garden's going to be so limited this year that I can work it in the evenings or early in the morning. Oop, there's a stink bug. There's a stink bug over here, and there's nothing over here for it to eat. Well, there was. I took care of it. Um, is everybody on the live chat? Mine said top chat. I want to make sure I got it. Hey, Christy Betts. She said, "Hi, I'm going to listen as I drive." Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's usually when I go to town, I listen to I listen to other people's videos. So I can't respond to them, but I can listen to them as I go. And that's when I'm catching up on live streams because they're longer. Um Now just before I got sick, I had to go to the dentist. Now this was rough. Let's see. Annabeth says it seems like we had a super cold beginning of the year, but January and February was warmer than usual. We lost a ton of trees and bushes to the cold freeze in December. We did too. I mean, with my wild plum and all my figs, all three of my figs lost their buds and they were leafing. So they have just now started, they're leafing good now. So if I get any, they will be late. But so I went to the dentist, I guess last Monday, and I had to go get molds made for my bottom retainer that they're going to make for me. Well, they had to do the whole top and bottom because somehow they lost the molds that we did a couple of months ago. The lab threw them out. And I didn't have any gagging issues then, but she put that she had me laying backwards instead of sitting up. And she put that gunk in my mouth and it started going down my throat and I started gagging. I literally pulled that junk out of my mouth because I mean, it was cutting my wind off. So, and I'm sorry I had to make them do it twice, but it was so gunky. And you know that stuff that they use, they have to wet it a little bit so that it doesn't stick to your teeth. And it had a little bit of moisture on it, I guess, and part of it broke off. And oh, I'm gagging. And I took And you wanna talk about it only had to stay in there 2 minutes, and honestly, I could not hold up for 2 minutes, and I took that thing and I popped it out, and I mean, it looked like, pizza cheese. If you can imagine that, it was stringy, and I had it all over my hands, but and I had to bend over to get it. I had to literally gag it up so that I could get rid of it. Now that's gross, TMI, right? But that was the worst experience I've ever had making a mold of my teeth. And it's like, oh my gosh. And she says, "Were you choking?" And I said, "Yeah, you see this right here that was down my throat." And so, you know, the dentist actually had to come in and talk to him, and he got another girl to do it. And it's like, "Oh my gosh." But I have never taken anything but that was the stretchiest, gooeyest stuff that I've ever had to deal with. But I said, "I'm sorry," but it was going down the wrong way, and I was gagging, and I hadn't had any breakfast just for that reason because I knew I was gonna have to do the mold. But I guess the next day is when my throat started bothering me, and maybe it was already bothering me, and I just didn't realize it, but it made me a little more gaggy. Oh, it was an experience, let me tell you. Let's see, who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Uh, Annabeth says, "We almost lost our large fig tree, garden bushes, or gardenias." Oh, gardenias. I love the smell of those. And a lot of perennials from our green stalk too. Oh, really? Um, the gardenias, I've always loved them, but I don't think my kids like the smell of them. And um, hey, Maritza's Yarn and Crafts. Hola. So nice to see you. How's the weather where you're at? You have to remind me where you're at. Um, but so we just lost so much. You know, I even lost some of my bulbs from my irises. So I mean, it was cold here. It was way colder than we should have been. But now in a couple of weeks, all this week we're getting up to 85, 86, 89. So next week I'll be complaining it's hot. But we don't have pools here, so the best I can do is get under a shade tree. That's the best. Um, so yeah, I did this, they made this mold, and the bad part is, I was sick, but if you've ever had one done, they really stretch your mouth out to get it away from the mold so your gums don't stick to it. And they literally, my whole mouth was bruised. It looked like somebody had socked me in the mouth. And I had a big old bruise here, and you can't really see it's a little dark, but I had a big old bruise there, and my lips were so chapped and cracked in the corners, and I know it was from them doing all that to my mouth. Plus, I didn't feel good, so that made it even worse. So, yeah, I wasn't a very pretty sight last week. So even if I had had a voice, I would have looked pretty bad. Um, Annabeth says we have irises that were planted here before us. I'm surprised they didn't die before the freeze. Do you know what? Irises are so hardy, and Gummy will tell you too. We have gone to Oklahoma to our original 10 acres home place that was my parents owned in the 50s. And there are irises there that my dad planted still. That's how long those things, I mean, if they're protected under uh the right, they're like, the bulbs, if they're protected, and I'm sure they're so packed in there, that they really do need to be they need to be thinned out. But yes, from 70 years ago, my dad planted those irises, and they're still under that oak tree. And I did bring some home, and I think Gummy brought some home too. We dug some up, and but yes, they last a long time. Hey, Smoky Mountain Bless, nice to see you. And anyone who doesn't know Smoky Mountain Bliss, this is storyteller Donnie and his wife Joy. But definitely go over and see them if you have not. How's the weather in Tennessee today? You may be getting the same. Now mine doesn't say, my computer says 76 degrees, and I know I've been sitting here. for an hour, and I bet you that it's a lot. Let me see what the temperature is. Uh, so I bet it's warmer than that. Um, so my tripod broke. Now that is the worst thing ever, is to have your tripod break because um I want to look and see what the weather it really is because it feels hotter than 76 degrees. So I had to go and search up a new tripod today. And I did find one that had longer legs, so it won't wrap around the fence post and stuff like I like. But, you know, okay. She says it's 75 degrees, low wind in the Smokies. Oh, I bet it's nice. I love the Smokies. We used to go for our anniversary in October. We used to go to Helen, Georgia, every year, and we would get us a cabin on a creek. It was so nice. But now there's so many people up there, I don't even go. Okay, it says it's 80 degrees. So it is 80. And our rain, we're not going to get any rain until next Tuesday. So we're not going to get to share Annabeth's rain. Let's see. Gummy says, I did bring a lot of the irises home, and Steve tossed them in the trash because he thought the bulbs were dead. Our older brother Gerald has his irises from the 10 acres, and they are yellow. But that's one thing that my mother kept a garden. Of course, back in the 50s, the grocery stores weren't available and stuff, you know. And my father kept a flower garden. People would visit him and bring him bulbs and flowers from wherever their farm was at. And my mom said that they used to bring all kinds of different bulbs, and he loved the irises. So, yeah, after 70 years, those irises are still, unless somebody has taken over that property and dug up the irises, they're still there. Even if there's a little bit of root left, uh, a bulb, even a part of a bulb, they'll grow back. So, yeah, but it's pretty nice. Yeah, husbands do stuff like that, throwing stuff in the trash. I have I have my irises from the home place. I also had some irises, and I think they're purple, from the cemetery where my parents are buried. And I have something called soapwort, and it's purple, and it came from a home place of my oldest sister. Um, she's gone now. She would be 85. She would be 85, 86 if she was living. I have flowers from her. Soapwort is actually, if you've never had it, it's very invasive and it loves to cover the ground under shade trees. And I have mine in a pot, but I've had it about 10 or 12 years. And it has even died off from the weather before and come back. So yeah. So I have flowers from different home places. And oh, I have spider lilies from my mother-in-law's place in Arkansas. They were all over her backyard. And I think I gave Kathy from Living Miracle when she was up here, I think I gave her some of the bulbs for the spider lilies. They're really beautiful. Let's see. Let's see. Who did I miss? Did I miss somebody? Oh, Annabeth says the guy before us had an entire flower garden. They made an entire running farm out of this place. Oh, it must have been beautiful back in the day. When he died, they rented the place and they made it junky. Oh, and that's a shame because flowers are just really beautiful. And I know, you can't eat most of them. There are some you can eat, but there's most of them you can't eat. But they have such a crucial part in life, um, you know, pollination, and so they really have their benefits. It's just um those who they find a place and they'll bulldoze and yank up all the flowers, and it's like, oh my gosh, that just breaks my heart too. The kids rented the place. I meant to say, oh, the kids. Yeah. So yeah, that's hard when people don't take care of, but like irises and the the daylilies are very prominent here in Augusta, in the Augusta area. Um, I don't have many lilies on the farm because the lily family is toxic to goats. Um, Hydrangeas, the lilies, the oleanders, poisonous to anybody. Although they're beautiful, they're poisonous. Um, and crepe myrtles are toxic to the goats also. So there's a lot of things that I don't grow anymore just because, if my goats got out and ate too much of it. If they ate a little bit, it wouldn't be bad, but if they ate too much of it, um, it could kill them within 24 hours. They could, it's bad. Uh, let's see. The renters made it junky, burns bed springs everywhere. We made 6 huge dump loads going to the dump. Oh my gosh. So they used the property for just a dump. And now, when we first bought this and we started clearing the back, we cleared probably a half acre for some in the woods for the goats to go in and clear up. And we cleared that and we found bottles from back in the 40s and 50s and cosmetic milk glass and uh, pop bottles that were very, very old. Some of them dated back even some in the 70s, and even shoes and clothes and just it was their dump. They took it out in the woods and dumped it instead of burning, things that could be burned. And so, yeah, they were just dumped out in the woods. So, you know, maybe they just didn't want to pay to go to the landfill. Steve is on here watching from his iPad, so he won't be tossing out any bulbs again. Oh, Steve, we're sorry we're giving you a hard time about that. But it doesn't mean that mine hasn't. He will trash stuff when he's cleaning up and he starts cleaning out stuff. It's like, don't touch my stuff. Don't touch it. If I want to throw it away, I'll throw it away. But at least ask me before you throw it away. When we first moved on this property, he's trimming all the trees and cutting trees down and trying to make it look less overgrown because the property had been abandoned for quite a while. It had renters on it, just like with Annabeth, but they only stayed in the house and a small yard. Everything else, they let it grow up. And he cut down a catawba tree. He didn't know what it was, but I had already figured out I had two in the yard. He cut it down and it was a beautiful tree. And him and my son-in-law at the time, I said, don't y'all even think about asking before you cut trees down because they probably cut wild plums down and we discovered there was 12 pecan trees on the property. So in the original 6.3 acres, we have 12 pecan trees. And he was cutting stuff all over the place. Well, we've since then discovered another couple close to the woods. So yeah, no telling what they throw out or cut up or burn. Um, I guess I best dig up some of yours and Gerald's irises on my next trip home. Yeah, take some back home. Uh, Donnie says, I like some overgrown because of the birds and the critters that live in the areas. Yes. We have the original 6 acres was already pasture and cleared. It was just limbs and pecan trees have a lot of brittle limbs and a lot of limbs and briars. and we let our goats take over and eat all that was in their area. Now, the part that we cleared out in the woods, we only cleared out a section of that 9 acres. Most of it is all wooded original land, and we're not going to clear it out because we leave it because we have families of deer that come out really close. We have cameras out there and we watch the deer, and that's how we knew we had coyotes and foxes that coming around. And of course, then I had my little possum last night, and he wasn't bothering anybody. He just wanted a little something stinky to eat, and he got it. Let's see. Annabeth says the same with the renters here. They stayed on one spot and didn't mess with the other 30 acres and let it grow up nearly unmanageable. Oh, yeah. For years, if you don't at least bush hog, those little limbs and stuff turn into trees, and they turn into little spindly trees because they can't get enough light, or and then they host some of the critters you don't really want near your home. They can be in the back acreage, but you don't want them up there with your livestock. So yeah, but I mean, even within 20 feet of the backyard of the old farmhouse, that was what they rented, and they were very nice people. I really liked them. Um, they came for a couple of years after we took over and bought eggs from us. They were very nice people, and they didn't move very far. But the people that rented before them, they must have used that backyard for um, we found peach pits. So they must have ate a lot of peaches because we found just peach pits all over the backyard, and it was grown up, and they had some dogs back there, and peach pits. It's like, really? And jars, and so they threw their trash right out the back door. These were just the renters. These weren't even the owners. And because probably for 20 years the owners didn't live on this property. They rented out the house, the little farmhouse, and you know the neighbors ran cattle on it, and let them do it. uh, oh, thank you. I love that. Oh, Smoky Mountain Joy, you have, so have y'all changed your names, or is this different? These are new channels, because I need to go check them out and make sure that and I got a new subscription yesterday from someone, Quiet Listener. Some of y'all know Quiet Listener. I've been subscribed to them for a long time, and they resubscribed to me. So apparently they had lost my subscription too. So I went back and resubscribed. So y'all don't forget to do that. Always double check, because if you haven't heard from someone, it may not be because they're ill. It just may be because YouTube's dropped them off, and they've been dropping off friends that you really, you watch their channels, and if they don't pop up, sometimes out of sight, out of mind. You know how that goes. um let's see. Annabeth says some were so big we had to get a man with a bulldozer type thing to come help. um yeah, with the big stuff, and then you could bush hog, but you can't get a bush hog. That's right, you can't get a bush hog in there if those limbs are too tough, because then you're going to ruin everything you got. um, they have to get those cats and actually, scrape it up. Two channels, okay. Smoky Mountain Blessed. Y'all go over and make sure you're subscribed. And let's see, where's the other one? Smoky Mountain, Mountains Joy. Oh, it's all nature. Okay, that's nice. I love to watch your nature stuff, Joy. Because I mean, I sit here. It's not like I don't have nature here, but it is nice to see. Um, um, let's see. We found two peach trees from the renters planted. Didn't know they were there, but a few months ago. Oh, well, maybe now that you've gotten it cleared out, that you'll actually get some viable fruit off of it. Gummy says, going to leave my iPad running and going to run to get Turtle from school. Oh, is it Turtle? Oh, it's school time. Um, He is 100 and the teacher 101 and the teacher says the kids' aides have been sick last week. Oh, so you got to go get him because he's sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Um, yeah, I thought it's not that late there in California. Well, he barely got to school today. Barely. Our school here, I think it's out in a couple of weeks. Um, the kids anyway. I think the teachers have to go another week or so, but the kids at least are going to be out. Um, we start we stay on the schedule with the Masters golf tournament. So a lot of hours we get out. We have more different days off and stuff just because of the Masters. So, but yeah, school is going to be over. So now I have my little helpers around. They can help me this summer. They do help. They really do help. And I even told the youngest grandson we're going to order him a bee jacket so he can learn the bees because somebody's got to learn it, you know. Because I may get too old to pick up them bee boxes. Ooh, they heavy. They're very heavy, especially when they got a lot of honey in them. We had a lot of white clover and red clover this year, so maybe the bees really are going to do well this year. So yeah, the sun's coming back out. My throat's starting to get dry. I guess that's my cue to wrap it up today when it starts getting dry. Been busy watching our birds at the feeders. I configured it more nature. The birds are living uh, in the tree branches you added. Oh yeah. Now we have some bird feeders around the farm that we nailed up to the old barns and different places. We got a Martin house, but the wind blew it down when we had the tornado. So now we've got to, it's not like you can just put it back up, 20 feet up. You got to take it all down and start over. But it didn't damage it beyond belief. So we'll be able to we'll be able to put it back up. So yeah, we do have, and I have bird baths in different places so that they have water. Of course, we have a pond, which, and we have I don't know if it's a blue crane or an egret, but it looks like a blue crane and it had a baby um, a couple of months ago because it brought it to the pond. And they, every morning she brings either the baby or just herself, and she does a little fishing in the pond, and then in the evening she comes back. So she, all day long, she probably goes, because I know she goes to the pond directly across the road from me because I see her going over there too. So she goes to visits all the ponds and gets the little fish and urchins and different things. And they're amazing to watch. They'll stand there so still for, I mean, half an hour. I've seen them just stand there and waiting for that fish to come close. But I don't know. I think it's a blue crane, but and I don't really know. And I did see a peacock this morning down the road, yesterday morning down the road, going to UPS. It was running across the road and went into the woods, but I have no idea how to catch a peacock. Um, Especially when it's in the woods. It may have been living in the woods a long time. It got loose from someone. Peacocks are very noisy, but I would take it if somebody brought it to me. I would take it. Let's see. Annabeth says, I saw a crane eating a fish. I think I saw a bald eagle on our property this morning. Really? Oh, nice. I would never raise them either, Kathy. But but if one was didn't have a home, it's hard for me to turn them down until I could at least find them a proper place to go. But they're very noisy, very. and now I don't have any more guineas, and the guineas really did keep up the bugs and stuff, and they eat mice, but, the road is so close, they'd run out in front of the road. My dad really wants a peacock to raise, but they're $400. Yes, I've seen pairs up to $1,200 for a pair, and they're really some beautiful colors, and they would do really well on your property, I think, if they, would be locked up at night from the predators, but they definitely, they're really beautiful. Hey, Teresa from Springfield. It's nice to see you, even if you're just on your break. But this peacock was white. And I mean, I just saw it at the last bit running across the road and went down in the weeds. And I thought, oh, that was a peacock. The day before, I had seen a wild turkey. So there's a whole bunch of wild turkeys living up on that end also, not far from us. Yes, they're very pricey. They do they run off? Actually, the peacocks will run off, um, especially if they've lost a mate, because I think that I don't think they mate for life, but I think that they're very attached to their mates, and that if they lose a mate, they get very upset about it, and they start wandering looking for it. So yes, they will take off, because in that same area, someone called me a couple of years ago and said, "Oh, there's a peacock in one of my trees. Can you come and get it?" And I'm thinking, "How in the heck am I going to get it? It's 50 feet up in a tree, and unless you bring it down." And I told him, I said, "Well, you start feeding it, and when it comes down and you can catch it, I'll come get it." But I'm not going to go wait at the bottom of this tree because it won't ever come down. Because they do like, they're tree huggers. They do like it up real high. But and he said, "Well, it's just loud and obnoxious." I said, "Well, then start feeding it and I'll come and get it." But I don't know what he thought I was going to do about getting up in a tree and getting it. Hey, Paralife TV, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Uh, so anyone who hasn't been to Paralife now, y'all go over there and check out his channel. He's got an amazing channel. So yeah, peacocks are beautiful, very pricey. They're right up there with emus and ostriches, very pricey and very difficult to raise as far as I'm concerned. You have to have a lot of room and high fences. The peacocks fly very well. So if you don't have an aviary, or if they're in an area, now I had some people who wanted to give me one. Thank you, Joy. I had some people that wanted to give me um, a couple of males because they had some extra males, and during the daytime they let theirs just run all over their property, and they stayed right there because they were used to it and they were born there. So, but I didn't have the funds at the time to build the aviary. Now I have an aviary, but they don't have them anymore. So they had like 7 or 8 peacocks, and they were beautiful. They were all blue. They didn't have any of the white ones, but they were really pretty. Yes, the wild turkeys roost in the trees too. But I mean, we have, what do you call it? Not a covey of turkeys. What do you call them? But there's a lot of them, and all I see is females, but it's probably because the males aren't plumed out. But they just go across the road, and there'll be 7 or 8 just walking across the road, and you just stop and let them walk across the road. Um, but this area, there's a lot of wild turkeys, and they look so healthy. So I guess they're getting good eating. There is a pond near where they're at, so I'm sure they're staying close to the pond area. Um, Annabeth says, "Our gray phoenix chickens roost in the trees. Do they really?" Well, I have a lot of if I let my adult chickens out, they would roost in the trees at night because they do like to roost up high. the ducks roost on the fence post because of the foxes that were coming in. Um, and if one is not lucky enough to get up there before they come around, it's possible to lose them. Now the possum that was here last night was not after anything that was on the ground. It was after food, uh, old food. They like old food. Um, oh, you saw your first wild turkey in your area, Paralife. Where? Remind me where you're living. In the area that you're living. You don't have to tell me exact, but uh, state or because I just don't recall. Hey, this old helmet. How are you? Strapped on, spelled backwards is no parts. Yeah. They are migrating from east and Maine. Oh, you're in what is NB, Canada. I'm not good with acronyms. Too many of them. Wow. How was the weather up in Canada today? Is it starting to get New Brunswick? Okay, sorry. I've heard Nova Scotia and I've been to Ottawa and I've been to Victoria, um, and somewhere else. I can't remember where the other one, um, up near Niagara Falls. You border Maine. Okay. Okay. You're in that area. Yeah. I was in Niagara Falls. Uh, we went to Buffalo and we went across there to see Niagara Falls. It was so pretty. It was such a pretty place. On the way back, we went through Ohio and got snow. So, that's how we get snow because you don't get snow very often in lower Georgia, maybe in the mountains, but definitely not where I live. Definitely not. Um, it's been very cool in the spring. We had a nice day where it went up to 21 Celsius, and we're at 80 degrees here today. Niagara, Ontario. Yes. It's just beautiful up there. We also went one time and stayed in a cabin in it was a winery, and it was right in the corner of New York and Michigan, Ohio, somewhere. It was up in that area, and we stayed in a cabin and went to visit the winery. It was really nice up there. I just didn't realize there was so many wineries near the Great Lakes. Um, I guess you know it's good. It's good wet ground because it comes from underneath. But yeah, did I miss anybody? Sometimes it jumps and I miss. Um, let's see. Teresa's still listening. So I guess you stop for a few minutes or you need to stop for a few minutes. Yeah, I'm still nursing this little cough, but it's amazing. It's amazing how when you can't talk, it's like I couldn't listen either. It's hot, with no air in the car. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't My air conditioning doesn't run very well in my old car. It's a 2007. Um and my son keeps putting Freon in it, so one day I need to take it in. But um yeah, we have air. You just roll those windows down, right? That's air. We went across Oklahoma. we went we left Oklahoma in May. We went all the way to California in a station wagon and I'm pretty sure he didn't have air. So it was a hot part of the day of the year. So yeah, I know all about that traveling in no air conditioning. Whoops, almost knocked my computer off the chair. So I guess, oh my goodness, I've been on here almost an hour and a half. You're still listening? Beautiful weather here, and I'm stuck inside. Oh, at least I hope you have a window you can look out of, Teresa. You can hear all my birds and stuff. Now, a couple of days ago, I got to tell you, I saw my pileated, I don't know how to say it, woodpecker. So if you've never seen a pileated woodpecker or pileated, I'm not sure how to say it. Oh, lots of windows for Teresa. Good. Um, this this woodpecker can get 17 to 20 pounds. I'm telling you, it's true. You look it up. It's pileated, I believe. But it is a beautiful woodpecker. Yeah, I don't text and drive either, Christy, unless somebody's unless I'm riding. But this woodpecker is so amazing. He's very shy. I have seen the babies before, but usually I only see one at a time, and they make the most beautiful sound. It's like a caw sound, like a. And for a long time, I didn't know what this sound belonged to, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, so don't uh, don't judge. And it goes. It does that sound and then it'll draw it out and it's absolutely beautiful. So I know when I hear it that it's somewhere up in the trees, but I rarely see it. But they are beautiful birds, beautiful. And we have a lot of different woodpeckers here. They come around the house and of course owls and but the hawks, lots of red tail hawks. But these woodpeckers are the most beautiful things. So if you don't know about them, Google them and look at them and read about them. They're amazing birds. I mean, just amazing. But I've never seen any eagles here. When we lived in California, we saw eagles there. Yes, the cardinals are one of my favorites. Also, Annabeth, love the cardinals. And we have the Carolina wren, and it's a tiny little bird, and there's lots of them, and they're really beautiful little birds. So they'll make their nest anywhere. We had in my son's yard. I mean, on his porch, he has like a wraparound porch where there's even a screen there they can watch football games. That's how they love this. They love this area, and the grills are out there and everything. Well, there was a camp chair set out, and it had a little pocket in it, and the wren made a nest in the little pocket, and he wouldn't let anybody sit in that chair until she had her babies and could fly away. But they're like, don't touch that chair. It was sitting out in the middle, and it's like he had it blocked. He said, don't touch that chair because there's a bird in there. So he let her hatch her eggs in there and take her babies off. But yeah, couldn't sit in that chair. The cardinals are so beautiful on the late winter day, and you're dreaming of spring. Yes, and usually, I mean, you see them all winter, but I mean, they're just gorgeous to see. I have a really pretty picture, and I've used it as a thumbnail before. And the picture actually came from a game camera. It came and sat down right in front of the game camera and sat there and just sit there. I'll have to get it again and use it as a thumbnail again because it was a beautiful cardinal. And I thought, oh, that's so pretty. So I took it off the game camera. Yes, I love bird watching too, Teresa. Birds are they're just amazing. We have sometimes the green and yellow finches um, that come out here. Now in town, we had more robins. We don't see the robins as much for some reason. I'm not sure why. But at one house we lived in, we hardly ever saw robins. And another house, they were all robins. So I mean, it's just their area that they were in. But uh, robins are really beautiful too. And I even like the blue jays. They're pretty. They can be pretty hateful though if you get too close to their nest. But they're very protective. Let's see, I have to do math now. Oh, well, I'm glad you came, Annabeth. Your mother is making me do math, unfortunately. I hope everyone has a blessed day and the rest of their week. Thank you, Annabeth. You too. And have a good Mother's Day with your mama. Um, so yeah, you know, you just can't go wrong watching the birds. You can't. Now I have cats here, so sometimes they're very good at knocking the nest down, but most of the time they build them up a little bit further and they don't bother them. But well, we're glad you came, Teresa. You're running behind. Thank you. We're glad to see you. Blue jays are also protected other birds from predator birds. Yes. Now, in my in California, it's oh, can't remember the name of the town, not Camarillo or something, but where my aunt and uncle have a place there, and they will come on their patio, their porch, and they have bird feeders out for them, and they're a jay, but they're so dark blue, they're beautiful, and I can't remember the name of them. I'd have to look it up, but they're a type of jay, and I mean they're gorgeous, but they're really big, and they're so blue they're almost black. They're just so pretty. Um, but she said they loved it in the afternoons. They would just watch these birds, and they would always put nets and stuff out there for them. And because they lived on the beach, they lived in the beach area, but they were on the side of a mountain, so they always they always fed the birds. We fed the birds before we had goats and other animals. We used to go through, I don't know how much bird feed every week. My husband would go and get his bird feed because he loved feeding the birds, and we made um, homemade protein bars for them, and we did all of that. As a matter of fact, I made sheets of protein bars, just like I was making chocolate chip cookies. We made sheets of them, and let me tell you, uh, okay, I'm gonna tell you this one thing before I get off. I made 2 sheets of these, and I put raisins and peanut butter and all kinds of seeds, sunflower seeds, and I put sunflower seeds that have been cracked also, millet. I mean, even what are those little dried up worms? I put even some of those in there. I mean, this was like a gourmet bar for the birds, and I had it in my extra refrigerator, and because then I was going to cut it up and then put it in the freezer so that it would last a little longer. Well, one of my kids came to visit. Y'all know where this is going. My oldest daughter, she came to visit, and she might have been living with us at the time. She's like, she said, those peanut butter bars are really good. Those peanut butter bars are really good you have in the refrigerator. But they're a little crunchy. She ate some of that peanut butter bar. And I said, well, I guess there's nothing in there that's going to really hurt you. But so just be aware when you go into somebody's refrigerator and you open it up and you find a really neat looking uh, sheet cookie bar that it might not be for humans. So she did, and she never forgot that I fed her bird bars. But nothing really bothered except knowing those dried worms was in there. That was the only thing. I told her she probably didn't get one, so not to worry about it. But so I used to make these really gourmet bars for the birds. I haven't done that in quite a while, but uh you can make some really really good nutritious stuff for your local birds. So So I'll go for the week. I'm glad you guys stopped to see me again. I know I missed a few weeks and with all of the stuff I've been up to, but hopefully I'll get back on a regular schedule. Uh, I may this summer even try 2 days a week. I might try 2 days a week, different days, different times to catch some that are, working. I don't do really late nights. I have trouble doing late nights because, family obligations and food and animals and stuff. We're heading up to lunch with Scott and Tara. Might pop in with them for a short time after lunch so you can see them. Oh, so nice. I know, Christy. It was funny. I can't hardly tell it without laughing so hard. But and I get her to tell people about it occasionally. She says, "Mama tried to kill me with that bird food, dried worms." That was, you know, everything else. I mean, they didn't hurt her apparently. But yeah, things have. I'm sure there's things like that that's happened to you guys before. If you didn't hit the thumbs up on your way out, do that for me and share it out if you'd like to. I got behind with being sick, so I'm kind of stuck on 792. I was up to 798 at one time, and I dropped off because I was sick. Because if you snooze, you lose, right? So yeah, a pair of mourning doves at the feeders right now. Oh, I have a pair of mourning doves that come around every year, and I know they have their babies here every year. And I don't have many. I don't see many, but I believe it's the same ones that come back every year. And they're always at my back door, and they're just so pretty, very pretty. So I'll let you all go. Y'all all have a good Mother's Day if you have mothers close by. If you don't, call them, go visit them. They fly in and out together. Yes, they're. I think they mate for life too. Um, so, and I hope you have a good weekend with family. And I'll see you guys next week. If I don't see you before then, I've got a couple of videos that I need to get loaded up. But so I hope you have a good rest of the week and the weekend. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hear my birds talking to me. Oh, every day. Oh, thank you, Paralife. I appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to stop by. I haven't been able to go to too many lives myself with being all croaky. Talk to you guys later.